James Cameron's latest movie has reached an amount of hype that most blockbusters could only dream of. Avatar introduces cutting-edge 3D technology and is bound to be one of the biggest movie spectacles of the year. So of course you know what that means, a movie tie-in video game. Avatar the game is actually a prequel to the movie and stars an entirely new character named Abel Ryder. It takes place on the same lush jungle paradise of Pandora and involves a fight between a militant human faction and the tall blue natives of Pandora called the Na'vi. Like a lot of wars, this is one over resources, particularly a rare mineral found in the Na'vi forests. Ryder needs to decide if he wants to either help the humans harvest the mineral or help the Na'vi fight for their home. Unfortunately, the game does a terrible job of explaining this backstory. This is a game that's supposed to be a prequel, and yet it almost assumes that you've already seen the movie to make sense of everything. Seeing as how the movie isn't even out yet, that's a big problem. There is an in-game encyclopedia, but that doesn't excuse the poor storytelling in the game. Shaky narrative aside, the world of Pandora does look quite inviting. The entire game is packed with an impressive number of plants and wildlife at all times, so much so that the frame rate sometimes suffers a little because of it. One of the big selling points here is that the game is also fully compatible with 3D capable TVs. Unfortunately, we can't show you these effects in this video review, but trust me, they are indeed a selling point. Bullets come whizzing past your head, the flamethrower looks awesome, and the jungle becomes even more immersive. It's a shame that only a very small number of gamers will be able to experience this right now. After about the first 45 minutes of the game, you'll be asked to make a choice, to either fight for the humans or for the Na'vi. Depending on what you choose, the game will either become a generic third-person shooter or a generic third-person action game. Shooting as a human is fine, but the Na'vi controls are not very good. They feel sluggish and the camera doesn't really keep up with the action in the best way. The biggest problem with the game though is that since the storytelling is so weak, I didn't really care about what was happening at all. Without the proper motivation, it just feels like a bunch of been there, done that, fetch quests, and combat sequences. Things like a leveling system, unlockable skills and gear, and side distractions do their best to add meat to the game, but none are fleshed out enough to make them satisfying. The ability to control military vehicles or ride the animals does spice things up a little bit, but the gameplay here is nothing special. There also is a multiplayer mode, but you probably won't be playing it very long either. Again, this is because loose controls and middling combat drags the experience down. Weak storytelling and unrefined controls are probably not the best introduction to the world of Avatar. Although not the worst movie license game, and there are some really bad ones, it feels like you have to watch the movie before you play the game. However, if you own a 3D capable TV, you will be treated to some pretty snazzy visuals. The rest of you should probably just wait for the movie to come out to see how big of a fan you become. For the full written review, check out IGN.com.